Welcome to the Gaudium et Spes podcast, where every other week we bring you Catholic teachings and stories of faith from people throughout the Diocese of Pensacola-Tallahassee. Now, here are your hosts, Suzanne McNinch and Chez Filippini.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Gaudium et Spes podcast. If you missed our last one, it was another episode of the Catholic Social Teaching series between me and Dr. Luke Arredondo, where we talked about John Paul II's first social encyclical, Laborem Exercens, and it was great. But today, we're back. It's time to learn more stories of faith. I'm here in the studio by myself, by the way. Suzanne missing in action again. Where is she? But we're here with Olivia Hepworth from St. Anne in Gulf Breeze. Olivia?
Good to be here. Thank you, Chez. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for joining us. You're the youth minister out at St. Anne Gulf Breeze?
I am.
Correct?
And I also get to work with the adults in a adult faith formation as well as evangelization role.
Okay. Very cool. Mm-hmm. How's that going?
It's fantastic. I love the parish. I am really, really grateful for the opportunities that have come available there.
Yum.
I adore what I do.
Heck yeah. St. Anne Gulf Breeze is one of the first parishes I ever experienced in this diocese. We were talking beforehand, my youth minister, she's from this diocese. Her best friend and her met in youth group at St. Anne when they were in high school, and they had her best friend got married at St. Anne Gulf Breeze. So I came up here for a wedding in 2008, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah,
Okay.
It was a lot of fun. Good memories.
Monsignor laid a fantastic foundation, and it's just continued to be built upon by a lot of fantastic priests. So
No kidding.
grateful.
No kidding. Olivia, we always start out with the first line of the document that this show is named after, which is the Gaudium et Spes podcast, and it goes, "The joys, the hopes, the griefs, and anxieties of the men of this age, especially those who are poor or in any way afflicted. These are the joys and the hopes, the griefs, and anxieties of the followers of Christ." It's kind of like the high-low game, basically. So, you're a follower of Christ. Any joys, hopes, griefs, anxieties lately that are on top of mind?
A definite joy that we've all been celebrating is that one of my cousins just got married. His now wife came into the church 2 years ago. She's a good friend of mine, and so it was beautiful to get to celebrate their marriage a couple weeks ago at Our Lady of the Assumption on Pensacola Beach. Another joy that has been super rewarding to be able to be a part of and see unfold is that my second brother is going to be joining Focus, which is a Catholic campus ministry for students. Really, it's not only in the U.S., but also abroad.
Yeah, they're going international.
Exactly.
I've heard. Wow.
And so he is going to leave for training in just a couple of days down in Ave Maria, Florida.
Okay.
He'll find out where he is going from there. I know Focus just came to our diocese at Florida State and has done really, really wonderful things over there. So I'm excited to watch my brother kind of embark on this mission because it was a huge part of my story and my experience.
We're going to hear that. You're an older sister, obviously.
I am.
Is it hard to watch him? Is it?
No, it's the best place I could send him off to.
Okay, good.
I'm the oldest, and I have two younger brothers and a younger sister, and I could not be more excited for the places that they're going. They are all very faithful and have very bright futures. So
cool.
I feel like a proud mom more so than like a sorrowful sibling.
It's so cool. One of our friends at the cathedral here, the Fort family, the oldest girl is 15, who's my daughter's age. They've been in class together since kindergarten, and they just had their fifth baby. And she is going to get to be the godmother for her little brother. And it's like such a cool,
Awesome.
We were talking to the parents the other day, and they're just super excited. There was a canonical question over if that's, it is permissible. So they got the nod from Father Steve, who's also the head of our tribunal. So they're feeling good about that.
Wow.
But yeah, it's cool to have that maternal relationship as an older sister, I think. I see it in my own daughter with her little brother and sisters. Yeah. Well, cool.
Absolutely.
A marriage, a missionary call. That's a lot of joy. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, on my side of things, y'all, this is our first podcast. We've had so many things going on recently here in the diocese. You were here last week. We launched our Trinity Village community.
It was amazing.
It was really cool. Lots of members of the media. Deacon Ray has led this project, 9 Tiny Homes. That's a great joy for our diocese. Shameless plug. We launched our 50th anniversary documentary special a couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that, go to ptdiocese.org. It's the front page. It's a great story about our diocese, about the length of this podcast. But yeah, and then one of the craziest things, kind of definitely a sorrow, our first bishop of this diocese, Bishop Rene Gracida, he died on May 1st. He was 102 years old.
Lived a good life.
Lived an amazing life. One of our last World War II veterans, he flew on 32 B-17 bomber missions, survived, became the bishop of this diocese, the founding bishop of this diocese. He was an auxiliary bishop of Miami. He was a Benedictine monk. He was the bishop of Corpus Christi, and he lived till 102. So,
well, he sounded busy, so he needed to.
It was funny. We were, kind of as communications director, kind of putting together a little bit of a news story obituary. After he retired in 1997, he just took up cattle ranching in Texas. That was his retirement. It was just
at 97.
He retired in 97 at the age of 74.
Okay,
but he was still 74 years old. He's like, I'm going to be a rancher now. So a man, from what we've heard, and if you watch the documentary, a man of great drive and vision and intellect and holiness. And he just kind of commanded the room in many ways. So yeah, Bishop Gracida, we wish you well. We hope to see you in the heavenly, at the heavenly throne, and we pray for your eternal rest. So, all right. Well, on to this podcast, guys. Charmaine Adams, my great predecessor, launched this podcast with the intention of revisiting sometimes about some of our Catholic Compass stories. And Olivia was the cover story back in November and December of 2022. And it was really on what we want to talk about. The first part of our podcast here is not just your youth ministry journey, but this mission that you've had as a family, I guess, not just you, your family.
Absolutely. To
provide clean water to Nicaragua. So we're going to delve into that. But we start with your family, though. Tell us about your upbringing, where you came from around here, Catholic life.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Gulf Breeze, and I was raised at St. Anne's Parish. I could not speak more highly of my family. I couldn't adore them more. They are wonderful, not only my immediate family, but also my extended family on both sides, grandparents on both sides, aunts, uncles, cousins. And they were a huge part of my upbringing in the faith. I have very vivid memories of really the only reason that I wanted to go to Mass was because I got to see all of my cousins.
Oh, wow.
And there was always really great pastries afterwards. So I get to see and play with all of my cousins, and we get to eat donuts. That's every kid's dream from 4 to 10. Okay. So Mass was fun to go to because they were there. But my family did raise me in the faith, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's all very, the Lord has brought it all together in a really beautiful way. But I think that for a very long time, my only understanding of the faith was of service and was of doing good. That it only boiled down to being a good person. And that made faith a little bit more of a heavy burden than a exciting, beautiful life. And so I had a great foundation of faith and lived it, but was living it. And this foundation was very burdensome. And so I would say that once I went to college, it was your opportunity to, am I going to continue in this or not? And I had a pretty incredible experience in college with Focus, as well as just my experience I went to the University of Southern Mississippi, and I played beach volleyball there.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a huge part of my experience. And so as I got there and just having difficulty in friendships and not being in my familiar area with my family that I'd grown up with, all around me, always bike riding distance away, I felt very alone. It was very isolating and like scary. Wow, I've never had to like make friends before.
Wow.
And so I get there, and essentially I was bored out of my mind. So I decided that I would go hang out at the church because there'd probably be people there. And just had a great community with volleyball, but needed something out of that. And eventually I ended up meeting people through that. I met a Focus missionary who became a very dear friend of mine, who led me in understanding the faith to something more personal than just boiling it down to only service, only like this being a good person. And so it was a huge gift to know her well. Life Teen Camp also had a huge impact in my faith and in my desire to stay faithful and know that the church was somewhere that I could go to meet people. If I didn't have that foundation of Life Teen before going to college, I don't think that would have been the place that I would have gone for it.
The average college student probably, I'll go to a hookah lounge, or I'll go to somewhere, I'll go to the library before I go to the church or something like that. But But St. Anne has always had a strong youth ministry presence, bring
absolutely
teenagers to summer experiences, which are, even if they're just for the summer, their experience that remains with people forever, as from what I can tell.
Absolutely. The friendships that come out of it that bear an abundant amount of fruit to this day. We get to celebrate one of my great friends that I would always go to camp with, her wedding in just a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
She'll be getting married at the cathedral. So it really does come full circle. But all of that being said, that the ministry with Nicaragua ended up kind of coming from a place, I guess I'm not super proud to say, of just like, I knew this was like good thing to do. And if that's what Christianity is boiled down to, then like, let's do that. But then it has transformed into just an overflowing like abundance of the goodness that the Lord has given me and my family, that we're able to give in this way. And not only us like giving, but I feel like we're more of just like a facilitator in it. The Lord has given us a lot, and we just get to like distribute it.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, Focus had a huge impact. Life Teen had a huge impact. Really transformed my faith in college. And it's when it was able to become personal. Prayer was able to become an absolute pillar and a non-negotiable. And from there, I haven't really looked back.
Heck yeah. Just for the uninitiated, Focus as a concept is peer-to-peer ministry, but also has leadership, and it revolves around Bible studies on campus, correct?
I think there's a specific verbiage that they would use that I can't remember right now, but that they are forming disciples. So gotcha. I don't think they would say a Bible study organization, gotcha. But that we are forming disciples. Right. And so discipleship and leadership and pouring into someone and giving them the ability to pour out to another is more so of the foundation, I guess, that I would explain it as.
Yeah, perfect. So we have this, again, this kind of the generative point of our conversation is this mission Nicaragua. I haven't heard about Nicaraguan foreign exchange students at your house or a particular, you didn't go on family vacations there every summer or anything like that. Tell us, how does the Hepworth family, how do you discern this call and this mission?
So we love to surf.
Okay.
We live in a beautiful place, and praise God that I was taught to surf from when I was young.
Okay.
And our family has taken several trips to several different locations around the world and around the country to surf. And so it started as my dad just going on. There was this particular wave they needed to catch. And so the boom is a well-known break in Nicaragua.
Okay.
And so it is very remote, but it was worth it to them to travel there to be able to catch this wave. And so my dad and a group of his friends go to this remote place in Nicaragua, and they meet a woman there that is distributing water filters at the surf camp that they're staying at. And she would, where she was staying was the surf camp, but then she would go out and she had community connections and would do community implementations of water filters.
Okay.
And so my dad was like, that's interesting. Nowhere we've ever traveled before has had this great need that's so primal, like water. And so he comes back, he tells me about it, and it's like, wow, that's really crazy to even think that there is people that do not have access to clean water. And
right, we're not talking Brita filters. This is like,
yes,
this is to just have a little bit of clean drinking water or bathing water or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So their current drinking sources in a lot of the communities are still this way. It's essentially depends on their amount above sea level, but they have an open hole that's dug on their property. And sometimes it has brick down the side. Sometimes it's just quite literally an open hole. And most people will put scrap metal or something over the top. And they have a bucket that they lower down. And it essentially just catches rainwater, groundwater, any runoff. And that's the water that they're using for cooking, for cleaning, for bathing, for drinking. All of their needs are from this one source. When those go dry during the dry season, because that is a real factor for them, they have to wait on government trucks that come by at their own discrepancy. So it's not, hey, Monday's trash day, I got to put out my trash can. Like Monday can be water day, but we didn't make it by, maybe they'll come the next day or the next day. Wow. And the water from the trucks is not clean. It's even worse, essentially, than the groundwater that a lot of the community members are drinking. So that's even worse news when they have to get water from the community trucks. And it's a really beautiful way of like seeing community sharing, because they fill up as many tubs as they can, and just dependent on how long until the truck comes back, they start to share with the community. And you're really, really making good use of all of your water because you only have so many jugs. So yeah, that is
wow. That's
the
your dad
reality.
Sees this. Your dad eventually gets acquainted with the whole situation. He comes back and he's like, what are we going to do about this? Or
essentially, we started just talking about it in a prayer that I prayed from the time that I can remember, maybe 5-6 years old, up until I was a good bit older, a teenager. I always prayed for people that were digging water holes for countries that didn't have any water, line for line. It was my repeated prayer every single night. And so it was something that rung true for me. When I heard this, I was like, those are the people. Those are the people that I pray for. And so it was attainable enough just having a conversation with the woman that was distributing the water filters that we could do something even if it was very small.
Okay.
It was $50 a filter. I can do that.
Okay.
And I know other people that can do that. And so the first goal was 50 filters and $2,500 was going to be the goal. And so we had made plans to take a trip down there to be able to distribute the filters and just get more of an understanding of what is the lay of the land, what is going on here, what is the problem. And so through babysitting nights at the church and garage sales and writing letters to people, we were able to raise the $2,500 in probably about 8 months. And so we were able to go down there, bring the filters, and do our first implementation with the community. And we got, in the meantime, acquainted with a young man. He was 23 at the time, and he had taught himself English from just reading the menu at the surf camp. He was a server at the surf camp, very little education, and knew that a way to change my life and my family's life is if I learn English.
Okay.
And so he was the only one at the surf camp that we were able to communicate with. And so he took us out and brought us to do these filter implementations and knew the communities to go to, knew the people that were in need, and was also our translator.
Okay.
And so getting acquainted with him and just growing in friendship with him, we were like, these filters are awesome. What more can we do? Like, this filter has a lifespan of 5 years.
Okay.
That's great. But there has to be something more. Been turning on my water faucet for way longer than 5 years. And he said, we need deep water wells. And so we were like, oh, it sounds a bit more daunting.
Yeah.
And we come back, more conversations with him. We find out that a well is going to be about $20,000 to $25,000. Way different budget than our $50 per.
It's a lot of babysitting, a lot of garage sales.
And he said there's a community that I'm familiar with that is in particular need. They are walking over 3 miles a day just to fetch water. There was a lot of children in the community that were not able to attend school because that was their daily task, was to go fetch water. They maybe, if they were lucky, were able to go for 2 days on the weekend because their schools offer that for those that have to work during the week. And so we located this community. We got surveys of the land. There was a lot of legal work that went into it. I actually am a landowner in Nicaragua. We had to purchase the land. And we've yet shifted and done things differently. But the community essentially donated this centrally located piece of land. But it went into my name, and we found water on the plot of land, and we started building a tower. And I say we, all of this is facilitated through our friend that was down there. His name is Yearling, because I'll refer to him several other times. But so Yearling facilitated bringing the people together to build the tower. He did all the calculations for how high it needs to be, how many gallons per minute need to come in to be able to push out. Actually, no, this one we started with just a central nozzle. And he coordinated all of the community members coming together to work on the project. We had, it's called a CAPS board, and it's 8 people from the community that have different roles in upkeeping the well. So he facilitated all of this for our very first well. And then November 17th of 2017, we were able to go down to Nicaragua and finish that very first well. We got to see the water pump. It was just going to one central spigot that people could come to. It was much more centrally located than their community well that they were walking to. That was just that open hole. Mm-hmm. And we got to celebrate with them. It was a huge, huge gift. We have since from there expanded into where we're just broke ground on our 32nd well.
Jiminy.
We are now pumping individually to people's homes. So they're not coming to a central location, but they get to turn a spigot on at their house. People that we've gone into their homes and been able to see that they can use it for cooking, but then they've also been able to rig up something where they could use their less clean water for like bathing and things that can just help them be able to, like, their standard of living has improved significantly. We work very closely with the hospital that is in the community as well. And they take care of the wells. They're part of taking care of the wells. So there's a treatment that goes into the water that the hospital takes care of on a monthly basis. And the hospital has reported that there's been a significant decrease in stomach problems as well as infant mortality since these wells have been like into the communities. So that's been a huge victory to be able to celebrate with them.
Olivia, we got to pause here for a second.
I'm just going.
This is you said 30. Okay, so your initial price tag you said was $20,000 to $25,000 a well.
Yes.
So you've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point.
Yes.
How many people are involved in this? How big is this reality at this point in time?
I have to shout out our awesome diocese.
Okay.
Truly. People that have reached out to me that I don't even know that have been willing to support the projects, as well as individual donors that I know from different walks of life. We have an annual fish fry.
Okay.
And that is where
Very Catholic.
all of our money essentially comes from. Okay. So we, every Thursday before Blue Angels, we set up down at the park in Gulf Breeze.
Yeah.
And we have a big fish fry. We serve about 500 people. And it's a great time. We have a band. We have awesome fish for a very long time, up until just actually last year. We would actually fish for all of this fish. So this was red snapper, trigger. It was all the good stuff.
Just growing up on the East Coast of Florida, people like your dad were everywhere. So I grew up like 40 minutes, well, actually like half hour from where Kelly Slater's from and the Hopgood twins and stuff. So it was like, yeah, you get very used to, like, you meet guys, they go on surf trips, they basically fish off the beach while they're down there and stuff. And like, that's kind of their life, you know? And like, it's just such a cool, attractive community. They invite people like crazy. Like, yeah, come just get
culture.
Yeah. So anyhow, I love this. This vibe is very familiar. Okay. So people are fishing. They're bringing this. It's not a lot of, you're not buying like tons of fish from Sam's to, make this happen. It's all kind of community generated.
Absolutely. So we had people that their donation would be, hey, we're going out and we've got a huge crew of people coming and we're going to donate all of our fish to the cause. And the fish fry generates a lot of the fundraising income that we have for the entire year, as well as individual donors. But it's more of the event that just attracts people and reminds them of the projects. We're able to give them an update on the projects. And we have raffles and things like that go on. But it really is more so a bringing together a community event, and people know what they do or know what we do. They trust what we do, and they're very generous in supporting that.
By the way, the first one, you said 2017. So you were in high school?
I was 17 years old. Yes.
Okay. And just kind of continue this. This isn't your full-time job, obviously. This is something you are kind of continually pouring into, I'm assuming. And
so we do have our own, we are a nonprofit organization. Okay. We are 501c3.
This is Live Well Water.
Yes.
livewellwater.org. Okay. livewellwater.org.
Yes. Is where you can find our website, and that alone is a huge gift from the Lord. It was a friend that we met while we were surfing down there, and he was from the Netherlands. He said, "Hey, I want you to come meet my friends." We meet them. He actually just came into the church this Easter.
Oh, wow.
He sent us a video from the Netherlands of his confirmation. It was beautiful. It was even just interacting with him. We went over and did a Bible study with his group of friends, his like little surfer group of friends, and just sat there and talked to them. I think we were there for 4 hours. It was amazing. And one of the friends said, "Hey, I'm a graphic designer. I'd love to be a part of your organization in a way. Would you like me to like design you a website and logo?" All of our stuff has been done by him, and he is absolutely incredible. So completely like donated his time to do that. We have accountants that donate their time to doing all of the not fun bookkeeping things. My dad is on the phone making phone calls to people that he knows that are willing to support in whatever way that they're capable. Kent's donates tents. We've got people that donate their time to come play and be the band. Just so many different helping hands that make it all possible.
So I want to add, gosh, I'm sure there's so many testimonies from families down there who've had their lives changed, stuff like that, but you probably can't get to that. You mentioned this starts like you had a prayer that for some reason it was always on your mind and your heart. But you also mentioned in the beginning, you were like, kind of faith was about doing good. How's this? What's this journey been like for you interiorly as a person who clearly is a person of prayer and faith? What's the struggle been like? What's the fruit been like? What have you seen? How's this a fruit of the Lord's work in your life?
It is so beyond my own ability to do anything that it has to be the Lord, and it has to be driven by him. Because there has been so many instances. I think that after our first 8 fish fries, we always said we were going to quit. We said, this is the last one. We will never do it again. And that same question, how you said interiorly, of, okay, if this is a struggle of mine, of like, if faith is being dwindled down to this, then how do I have this other part that was essentially started when that was kind of this misconception of faith. How does that get transformed? And I would say the testament to the fact that this has grown into something that I never ever dreamed of or thought of is a testament that this is by no means like my family or anyone that has also like lent a helping hand. It is none of ours. The Lord has multiplied our efforts. He has brought people into our lives that we didn't know before that have been able to give huge gifts. And so I think if anything, it has been able to transform my perspective of this is actually not your own. And as much as you would like to just do a lot of good for me, with me leading it, like your efforts are going to be multiplied.
Okay.
And so if I give whatever I can, the Lord has absolutely multiplied myself as well as like all of our family and friends in our efforts.
I mean, it's the classic kind of, do good, nonprofit, help those who can't be helped, on their own accord and stuff. But I feel like there's like thousands and thousands of these stories. But the fact that it like is generated in this really it's generated in your prayer life. It's just such a fascinating. I mean, yeah, I God has dreams that we don't even know.
That can't understand.
Yeah, and like he just like, I mean, sometimes he does kind of beam them into our head, and we're just like, how'd they get there? Wow, that's incredible. Okay, we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause that. There's much more to say there, but kind of this journey you've been on. Again, like this is not your full-time job, even though I'm sure it could be. I'm sure you could be the CEO of many companies out there, many nonprofits. Like, oh my gosh, okay, this woman built 32 wells in Nicaragua by the age of 20-something. That's pretty amazing. You're youth minister. What the heck's going on with that? So you feel the call and you want to come back home. Tell us about this reality.
I can't say I wanted to come back home.
Okay.
So I was working with Focus as a Focus missionary, and I was getting to do athlete outreach at Texas A&M.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Talk about a Catholic community that is on fire and inspired me. It
One
was
of the biggest in the country, right?
If not the biggest.
We don't like to say that around here. We always like to say that. We've heard, though, that it outdoes Florida State, so that's fine.
Florida State is getting there, though.
Okay.
They are getting there.
You heard it.
Yes. Go Noles. So I was working with Focus, and typically you have a 2-year commitment when you become a missionary, and that's just for the sake of building a rapport with students as well as some consistency, because we know consistency in ministry can be a difficult thing. And so I did my first year and I loved it. It was, I felt alive. I felt like I was able to grow a lot. And at the end of that, I had some health problems and realized that I wasn't going to be able to go back.
Oh, no.
And that was really, really difficult. So I came home, and there was a lot of grieving with not being able to go back and be part of that ministry, but also I was given so much from that ministry, and I had a foundation that had been laid that gave me the tools to be able to be a disciple wherever I was. And I didn't have to do it in this specific role. And so I get back, I'm working, just volunteering with the youth ministry at St. Anne's. My sister was in high school, and I essentially did it because I care about them. And her and a lot of her friends were around and kind of in and out of youth group and things like that. Sure. So being around, I was like, okay, we can take this to the next level. I have time to give to this right now. And I didn't have a job at the time because I was still in my healing journey. And so I was able to just volunteer time to that. And it started as just essentially this like once a month Bible study with some of the girls. And then I was eventually able to recruit a guys leader. And we started with the guys. And then one thing that led to another, where I was helping for several months. The previous youth minister had to go, and I got a phone call, said, "Hey, would you be interested in essentially helping out, or what could this look like?" And I was like, "Well, I'm kind of already doing it. I just, I guess it'd be a title now." And so I accepted the job. I was part-time for a year and a half. And then I just accepted a full-time position. That's where I added the adult faith formation and evangelization.
Praise God.
And I've been in that role for about 6 months and have enjoyed that. It is not what I expected to do at all, but it is where I know that the Lord wants me right now. So I don't know if I would so much say that I felt a call to youth ministry, but I did feel an invitation to ministry, period. And I wouldn't even say ministry. I desired to share the faith.
Yep.
And that's what came up. So that's what I did.
Heck yeah. It is, what we're experiencing right now, I think, in this season of the church, which seems to be a growing season. Please, Lord, continue. The sense of, like, hey, people are coming back in. There's a curiosity. There's a hunger out there. There are precious few people that are able to go out there and meet the need and share the faith and be the Barnabas and be the person that is like, okay, we're going to talk to you about the faith and we're going to welcome you in and we're going to lead Bible studies and invite you in. So yeah, that general availability to like, well, I'd like to be a youth minister for ages 9th grade to 10th grade. And on Wednesdays, like, we're not in that season of the church. We're like, do you want to share the faith? You're hired.
There we go.
You're on the team. Well, that's amazing. Hey, I want to go back. Student athlete ministry at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. So you're just out. Gosh, if we had you when Johnny Manziel was there, might have saved a life or something like that. But you're essentially kind of outreaching to.
Yes. So their continuous mantra to us was, we don't want to see you in the Catholic Center. And so we were not there. We were going to practices. We were eating in the athlete dining hall. We were, I took some indoor girls and made them beach volleyball players. So we were meeting them where they were at and where they were comfortable.
Yeah.
And then from there, we would start Bible studies and discipleship groups.
Life of a D1 athlete these days seems pretty, in some senses cushy, but in other senses like very controlled, very busy, very kind of like hard to have a normal existence, I guess you would say.
I would agree with that. And I think the culture of it is changing a little bit. But I think that what I have seen from the athletes that I was able to work with was the more time that they gave to the Lord, that the Lord gave back to them in tenfold. They were able to multiply their time in service to others, as well as still like hardcore dedication and commitment to their sport. So not having time for the faith as a athlete, I won't take that.
Good. An authoritative statement. None spoken by another athlete. It's good to hear. It feels, yeah. Well, Olivia, we'll wrap up here. Maybe just, I think a lot of folks would look at this as like, oh, again, a classic, be the change you want to see in the world. See a problem, fix a problem. That's not this story though, necessarily. It's responding. So just steps for people who feel like, I do feel like the Lord is calling me to do something bigger, or that's going to require me putting myself out there and asking for things and just going on a journey I'm not ready for. Like, yeah, if there's people listening or people who know people that are in that position, advice you would give or prayers to pray, or what you would say to those folks? Kind of on the spot. I know we didn't put this in the show notes or anything.
One step forward takes you somewhere, and even if it was the wrong step, you just take a different direction after that. So I would say, like, rather than waiting for the moment of like, wow, and everything is like aligned and ready, like just starting somewhere and then making changes along the way. It doesn't have to be a perfect start. And I've seen that in my own workings and just in my own like personal life as well, of just like starting somewhere and then pivoting along the road.
Dang. That's a pretty good way to end. Okay. That sounds like discipleship. That sounds like following Jesus down a pathway, It's like he never gives you the full map, never tells you where X marks the spot. It's like, just keep following me. Cool. Olivia, thank you for sharing your story. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you for being a blessing to our diocese and much, much farther beyond. It was, I'll say inspiring is the one word that comes to mind, but obviously just, yeah, thanks for your yes to the Lord in all these different ways.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Awesome. Well, guys, this is an amazing episode. We did take a break in our pastor series. We're going to hop back on that train. Don't you worry. We'll be back here in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, a happy last few weeks of Easter, happy Pentecost, and we'll see you back then.
Thank you for tuning in today to the Gaudium et Spes podcast. If you would like to know more about our podcast, please visit our website, gaudiumetspes.net, or go to ptdiocese.org and click the button that says podcast. If you listen to the audio version from an app such as Apple Podcast, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, be sure to rate, review, and comment. If you watched us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe or leave us a comment there as well. Thank you for joining us.